Hey fam, we had so much fun last weekend. So we are back for part two. I am Leslie with the Wine Concierge, and we are here with a lot of our wineries without walls. I don't know why I couldn't get that out today, but this is so cool. And just to recap, we have this amazing event coming up, and I say we because I like to be a part of the cool crowd. But there's this amazing event. I'm going to have Cyndi talk about what this event is. And basically, these are the people who have wineries and they don't have vineyards. And you're always asking, well, how do I get your wine? We are going to tell you tonight how you get their wine and how you can attend this amazing event. So let me stop talking and introduce Cyndi, and then we'll introduce Brittany and Daniel. Sound cool?
Sounds like a plan. Well, I'm Cyndi. I am one half of Narciso Wine Cellars. So my sister Dalia and I are the owners, and we are a boutique winery in Prince George's County that produces Maryland wine. So I'm excited to be here tonight and to give you guys a little bit more info as we delve deeper into the event.
And Brittany, who are you?
Hi, my name is Brittany. I am half of the ownership and founder of Rose Garden Wines, which is a Prince George's County based wine brand that emphasizes herbal infusion in our products. So we like to take some of our favorite herbs and spices and incorporate them into our product.
And Daniel?
Yeah, I'm Daniel. I am the vineyard manager for the Crossvines, and I'm also the owner and winemaker for Kingfisher Cellars, my own little passion project. So that's who I am. I am a grape grower. I'm the head for Maryland Grape Growers Association education and research. So I am deeply entrenched in this sort of stuff and just trying to start out on my own.
Awesome.
Very cool. And Kenny, please
Hi.
introduce yourself.
Okay. So I'm Kenny. I'm the CEO of Tipsy Teacher Wine. We're a winery started by me and two of my teacher friends to make wine that celebrates teachers and use a portion of the proceeds to help local Maryland teachers with school supplies.
That is such awesome. Growing up as a kid of a teacher, let me tell you, school supplies and hearing my dad complain again with the copies again. So I thank you so much for doing that for teachers. Thank you. So we have this great event that's coming up this Sunday. Cyndi, can you tell people about the event?
So the event for this weekend, this Sunday, is Wineries Without Walls, and I believe it is the first of its kind of experience created in partnership with the Maryland Wineries Association. So this event is specifically to spotlight Maryland wineries, cideries, and meaderies that don't have a traditional tasting room. So in Maryland, of course, there are quite a few outstanding wineries that are producing, award-winning wines, yet many of them, again, don't have that traditional tasting room. So this event, the goal is to put all of us together in one room to bring the winery experience to consumers, but also to build that partnership with our community. We'll have local businesses like restaurants and also other small businesses like the venues. All our sponsors are local, Maryland businesses. So we are excited to put everyone in the same space. We'll also have retailers there because, again, one of the main goals is not that we're just pouring wine. We're also trying to create opportunities for all the wineries that will be participating. So we're excited to kind of bring all of that together and hopefully then for everyone who will be there, which because it's all sold out, that they will find a new favorite wine and explore everything that Maryland has to offer.
So I am assuming everyone who's on this live will be participating.
Mhm.
Is that correct? So what wines, what are your favorite wines that you will be pouring this weekend? I'll start with Kenny.
Yeah, so we have a production run that should be finishing up this week. We should be just in time, so we should have our best sellers back. Our semi-sweet best sellers are our early dismissal. It's a white semi-sweet Sauvignon Blanc with peach, berry, pineapple, and kiwi, and also our buried in papers, which is a blueberry Pinot Noir. It's our newest wine, huge hit. People are loving it. And then we'll also have our dry wines, which is our extra credit Cabernet, which is a fruit forward, full bodied Cabernet, and then our classic Snow Day Chardonnay.
And Kenny, where do you source your grapes? How do you make your wines?
Okay, so we work with the local winery, the Far Eastern Shore Winery,
Hmm.
to produce the wine, but we actually get our grapes and our juice from Chile and California and bring it here, blend it, ferment it, bottle it, and then sell it and help teachers.
And Brittany, what are you guys pouring?
So we will be pouring our inaugural product. This is our only product. We're fairly new. We've been on the shelves for about a year now. August will make 1 year for us at Rose Garden Wines. And we will be pouring our award-winning Rose Garden Red, which is a herbal fusion of cinnamon, peppercorn, and cloves with Grenache and Temporillo grapes from Spain. So it's a semi-sweet. You're going to taste all the flavors that I just mentioned, and it will take you on a little tasting journey once it hits your palate.
I love how you just slipped that in there. Our award-winning wine. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That is I've had the opportunity to have the wine, to sell the wine, and I have to agree it is a hit. It is you have like a cult following for the wine. So congratulations being 1 year out.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's truly a blessing to even be in this type of space, considering that we don't own grapes or vines.
That is awesome. And so Daniel, are you selling for your project, or you're going to do both with Crossvines? Please share with us.
Yeah, so I am the vineyard manager for the Crossvines, but the Crossvines itself is an incubator for places like this. Wineries Without Walls. We the whole entire part, well, part of the whole entire project is to try and lower the threshold to enter. As anyone here can tell you, it is a lot of money one way or another to try and start a winery, and it can be expensive to plant grapes, to buy property, and then just to get into the market, then you have to build a whole new building, right? So by us having the facility and doing alternate proprietorships, we try to lower that for people who do have grapes or people who are just trying to break into the business, and hopefully will eventually be growing grapes. As a viticulturist myself, that's always the hope, more grapes. Um, but so that's what we do, and we don't have a tasting room, so we are also people without. So they will be selling separate, and then like I said, we're an incubator. And so for me, who's been in the industry for a little while and, whose end goal is a winery, I kind of went, hey, can I do this? And they went, yeah. So I signed a contract just like everyone else and paid and do everything just like everyone else. And I have my own products. I have my own meads. And so I will be selling for myself and hopefully right next to my coworkers and friends at Crossvines. So that'll be super exciting. For myself, I just started, basically in May is when I launched. So we've done one event, and that was the wine festival, which was great. If you don't know, the Maryland wine world's been hit by a horrible frost, so I've been playing catch up and trying to baby my vine. So I haven't been out as much as I want to be for my personal stuff, but vines come first. So I'm super excited to be here and have this opportunity to talk to other people without wineries, and then to show other people what's going on my meads. And it's just an orange, cherry, and blueberry, just flat. Those are the first three products. That's what we got.
So okay, so Daniel, you covered a lot.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm not sure if everybody caught that. So Crossvines is this amazing place in Montgomery County.
Mhm.
And I like to call the breadbasket of Maryland. And
Oh, yeah.
you guys are incubator for how many wineries there?
I lost count. Tyler would have a better. I mean, I think we've done 11. I know last time I checked, it was like 11 in 3 years. So I think it was something like that, including me. So it's been a few. Some of those have been on property. You can get bonded space
Mm-hmm.
there, or like other people have had their own space. They have their own little tasting rooms, and so we make the wine and they send it back to their bonded area. So
Interesting.
yeah.
That's cool. And if you haven't been there, it's pretty amazing because you can go to the restaurant and have the wines, Crossvine's own wines there. You can have an event there, or you can play a round of golf, and they'll and then you can also, if you want to, request a tour of the facility. So it's pretty amazing and interesting how this whole initiative has come together, and it provides so many sources there. So that is extremely cool. And then you have mead, which last week we had Derek on. Derek is messages here. He couldn't join us, but he is also another mead person. And so what made you decide to make mead instead of like the traditional grape wine?
Um, it's something that I've kind of been working on for years, and it's jokingly I say it's cheaper. I mean, I'm 100% self-funded, so basically I'm working for free, and all my money goes back to paying for my own winery at work. But so that was the thing. I was like, it was something I knew back in college. You know, I studied viticulture and enology. That's my degree. So as a broke college student, I needed something to learn on how to like get fermentations, and so honey was it. And then, you know, when you put money into something, go, this tastes awful. You know, you try and get better and better, and just slowly over the years, I've just, you know, I've felt comfortable with it. You know, I love making wine. I love working with Tyler and under Tyler and other wineries I've worked at, but it was just something that was, you know, what I'm used to for the last 7-8 years or whatever it's been. So I was like, if I'm going to open something up, that's the shot.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Cyndi, what you have, I'm always so impressed of the array of wines that you have. So what will you be bringing this Sunday?
I believe we will be bringing probably seven or eight of our collection. You know, we have some surprises coming out in the next couple of weeks, but we try to always present different options, literally trying to just make sure there's something for everyone. So we'll have our dry collection with our Vidal Blanc and, you know, our Cab. And then we'll also have rosés and semi-sweets, just something for everyone. So our collection right now looks like it's going to be our Vidal Blanc, our Cab Sauv, and then we have an off-dry rosé, as well as our Midnight, which is constantly off the shelves, right? Midnight, which is a semi-sweet red, and then Serenity, another semi-sweet red, and then we'll have our semi-sweet white Fiesta. So I think I think 7's probably just enough to showcase, but we'll see. There might be a surprise, but definitely those.
That is cool. So let me ask you guys this question. And sometimes it annoys me, but I often hear about Virginia wines and how great Virginia is or what have you. And there are brethren in wine, but why did you choose Maryland to make wine? Because, you know, without having a tasting room, you could go virtually any place. Why Maryland?
Well, I live here, so that's my main reason. Actually, when we first launched Tipsy Teacher, we were online only, and as he was like Daniel was saying, it's really hard to get started, especially when you're like nobody, and I have no connections to the wine world. And so initially, we started by contracting out of California and selling online only. So we had a website, e-commerce, and then when orders came in, they would fulfill them and ship them out nationally. Until we got on the news, and I said I wanted to work with a local winery and on my local, I think it was CBS, and then a bunch of wineries reached out to me to actually work with us. The same
Cool.
ones that turned me away when I was trying to get going. But once you're on the news, I guess that means you're more legit. And then we had a bunch of wineries reach out to us, and then we ended up settling with the Far Eastern Shore Winery in Maryland.
That's very cool. It's like, the popular girls weren't interested, and now
There's another
now
gold
you
digger that's come after me.
exactly. Anyone else? Why Maryland?
I will say for Rose Garden Wines, while we're bottled in France, but we decided to set up shop in Maryland because we feel as though we shouldn't have to leave our own backyard to have nice things. And Virginia's great, but Maryland is great too. So we wanted to really bring something specifically to Prince George's County in terms of a wine brand. And that's what we did.
I think similarly for us, it was that we are here in Maryland, but we also wanted to, a part of our philosophy was being able to give back to our local community and just to Maryland overall. And so one way of doing that was making a commitment to produce Maryland wines. And so that was kind of one of the main reasons why. And then, we were lucky enough to find a production site that shares similar philosophy about winemaking. And so, so Maryland, it was just an easy decision for us to make, actually.
I mean, I come from a place of Maryland ag. I grew up, most of my jobs have been Maryland ag. I chose to go to school for ag. So, it's somewhat of a dying industry around here, which is a shame. And so just to kind of, but we make some stellar wines. I've been lucky to work under some great people and, work with, Dr. Fiola at University of Maryland. And just seeing, like, Maryland is such a fun playground. Like, we don't have any of the restrictions of the old world of what we can plant. And it's finding what grows in Maryland. And Maryland, one of our nicknames is, USA in miniature, right? Like, you can go 2 hours to the beach, you can go to the mountains, you got everything here in Maryland. And different grapes do well in different places in Maryland. And it's just so fun to see. And it's challenging, don't get me wrong. It's hard to grow grapes here in Maryland. Whenever anyone says that they want to do a fully organic, you kind of have to go, well, you're in for some fun. But, it's at the end of that, it's when you grow grapes in certain areas that fit those areas, you can put it up against anything. And I think they do wonderfully to get, not just in America. I think Maryland has some stellar growing. We have some stellar growers, and I think we make some pretty great wines. And so, you don't do this job for the money as a wine grape grower. You do it because you believe in it, and so I do. And that's for Crossvines and for Kingfisher is both those Maryland products, and we believe in Maryland, and it's good, high quality, and there's no reason not to do that.
Oh, that is great. I thought I saw your yacht at the harbor. It must have been someone else's.
Yeah, another ginger. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
We look all the same. So I do have a doppelganger somewhere in Frederick.
Exactly. Well, you had mentioned earlier, and I wanted to circle back with it, and I'm glad you're here on the call because Maryland, and not just Maryland, but along the Eastern Seaboard, experienced the horrible frost that has damaged a lot of the vines. And so how has that impacted you guys because you have this relationship with growers, and what does your outlook look like, for 2027, especially 2028? What how's that impacted you as independent wineries? Cyndi, if you would like to start.
Well, that is an interesting question because I think when the news about the frost came out, it's easy to think by default about the growers, right? The vineyards, like that.
Mm-hmm.
It makes total sense. You're farming, right? But and not necessarily about the wineries without walls, if you will, because our model is just a little bit different. You know, however, we do rely on the growers and the vineyards to, provide and the grapes that we need to make our wines. So although it's not the first thing you think about when it came to the loss and damage, it's certainly for us, we were thinking about it. I know I was like, okay, so what does this mean for harvest, for 2026 and that vintage? And then thinking even ahead to 2027, right? And so we needed to kind of adjust and plan for have a 2-year plan rather than a 1-year plan. And thinking about, okay, sourcing grapes, what does that look like? Again, I mentioned that we've been lucky for the past now 3 years that we've worked with the same production site and sourcing our grapes. And so, you know, we planned ahead a little bit, so we're okay, but certainly it's cutting it kind of close. You really have to, it's a reminder that in this industry, it is not just the sexy part of it, if you will, about having the, wines and seeing, your brand or your name, but there's also the literally like your farming part of this and thinking about how much uh, you don't have control, right, over what happens. So for us, it's just been making sure that we are being strategic and planning to make sure that we can continue providing wines to our clients and sharing what Maryland has to offer.
Awesome. Anyone else?
Well, our wine, like we said, we get it from Chile and California, so we weren't having too much issues with the Maryland frost.
I mean,
Brittany, I think you're muted.
You're muted.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say same for Rose Garden Wines. We deal with a different climate, so there are issues that still come up that still impact us when it comes to sourcing grapes. But that looks a little bit different. That might change the production cost. That might change. There might be a delay in shipment. So it's still all impactful, even though we're not sourcing our grapes directly from Maryland.
I mean, I don't know how much it took off my life, but holy cow, that was stressful. There's a good month of just no activity in my vines, and I was like, "Are you dead?" Like, because I was doing bud sampling, because there was 3 buds, and every single bud and every single thing was just dead. So thankfully, they finally woke up and leafed out, and so I have my vine, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, for us, at Crossvines, it was like we work with multiple different vineyards across Maryland, so it's like, okay, get them on the phone now, see how they're doing. Some fared better than others, and so it was like, hey, like, how much of that could we get? How much can you expecting? Because someone's going to lose, or we're all going to lose on the contract of, like, I can give you each a ton, or, so it was all right. Let's get together with, certain people and like figure out what we can do. So it was pretty brutal trying to talk, but that's, at MGG, I always talk about, like, it's important to work between the winemakers and the growers and have those conversations. This isn't something like, okay, I'll see you in September, let me know. Like, this, you should have some form of dialogue going all year. And so this was just excellent example of why you should, because you have those relationships, and when they call you and go, hey, don't worry, we, you're top priority, we got you, or whatever that might be. It's important to have those relationships, especially if you don't have your own venue and you're not growing yourself. That's where it's key. Farming can be very relational, so that you got to foster that, and that we think we do a good job. Crossvines is supposed to be for helping everyone, as many, or try to help people. So talking to those growers, seeing how we can help. We were very fortunate for the relationships that we fostered.
Yeah, I think that that's so important. Very early on in my wine career or journey, I was naive about the importance of that relationship and how much the vineyard manager has an input of like how your wine is going to come out, and have that conversations with you very early on in the process, and not just like they're just growing these grapes and here you go, here's a couple of tons and good luck and we'll see you next year. So I think, you know, I always tell people that this is agriculture and we're just having adult grape juice. Like there's something behind here. They just don't mysteriously turn it into wine, which I don't know. Maybe everybody has Jesus touching their bottles, but it just doesn't happen that way. It doesn't. So um I know, Kenny, you have another job because you're a teacher, what have you. But another myth that I'd like to bust, aside from you guys being super wealthy, is this is your second full time job. And how do you guys manage it? How do you juggle having a wine label and brand and also working full time as well?
I'm not actually a teacher.
Oh, you're not. You
No,
just play one on TV.
pretty much, yeah. No, my two friends, if you follow our story, Brittany and Dylan were my two teacher friends that kind of inspired me to do this.
Okay.
I had another business before this that I sold, and I was looking for something, my next venture. And my
Mhm.
best friend's wife was telling me about how much of her own money she spends on school supplies. And I
Mm.
was like, what if we sold something that teachers love as like a gift to teachers, but we use the proceeds to help Maryland teachers with school supplies? And she's holding a glass of wine. She's like, well, what about wine? And I was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And that's what we kind of, went through the process of trying to find a winery. They all said no until I found this California, e-commerce only situation. So I've been doing this full time for 5.5, 6 years almost.
Okay.
But this is my full time job. We do online, we go to events, we wholesale. So there's plenty to keep me busy all day.
I take that back. So everybody except for Kenny, um, how do you juggle the two?
I'm still learning, if I'm being 100% honest.
Mhm.
With being on the market for 1 year, we've been in business for 5. So leading up to this moment, it takes a lot of juggling. Most days I'm tired, but I have to keep pushing through for the sake of the growth of the business. And uh, it really takes building a consistent schedule as I'm trying to navigate what my needs once were and how they change when it comes to my organization. uh it looks a little bit differently, and it feels different to stay on top of the organization of things, because if we don't tend to this business, then it won't grow. So oftentimes it's late nights, early mornings, and really making sure that I'm nourishing my body to take on all of those duties and to maintain both a day job and uh, a business.
I
I
understand. Go ahead, Cindy. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I definitely agree with that. And I would add that certainly, my family and friends, they know that if it's not on my calendar, it does not exist. And so I rely a lot on calendar organizing, planning a lot. And accepting that whether I want to treat it as a full-time job or not, it takes full-time hours to do it, whether I like it or not. So, but for us, it has been really taking our time to build and foster those relationships, right? And so having a business plan to guide you certainly helps with keeping you on track and knowing exactly what you need to do, but also helping you to pivot if you need to, right? So having all those the tools, if you will, it certainly helps manage the demand on your time and serves as a reminder as to why you're doing this, right? Sometimes it's like, why am I doing this to myself? But if it's what you are passionate about and what you love, then you figure it out. As Brittany mentioned, early hours, early mornings, late nights, and figuring out, in between how to stay on top of it and make it happen, and also enjoying some of it, right? I mean, we go out to these events and interact with our community, our clients, our customers, and it's fun. And that to me is part of the reminder as to why we do this. So yeah, I wish, there were like 30 hours in a day, but somehow we have to figure it out, and we do.
I am definitely in a unique position because one of the two organizations is my full-time job, and it is a full business with multiple people, and so I only have to worry about my section of it, which is making sure the vines are alive and we have good grapes. So that I'm fortunate in that, like, for that business, I'm not everything and thinking of everything. And what I am thinking about and where everything's for Kingfishers, it's like that big compared to Crossvines. So I think it's just I joke that I replaced my personality with just the characteristic of wine. So you do your day job and then switch over into my job or my second job. So for me, it's just living and breathing it for the vast majority of the day, and yeah, it's like everyone said, it's a lot of work, and for me, it's like spinning all those spin in place. You just know which ones you can put down and focus on, and it's just getting that timing down right. And thankfully, I've been in the industry long enough that it's like I can kind of bring that template over, but it's a learning curve, steep learning curve when you have to do everything.
Yeah, it definitely is. I did it for I can't even remember how long I did it, but I like ran my business and worked full time for a number of years. And then when I decided to go and run my business full time, I am always amazed how I did it. How, like, because your business is so consuming, and I'm like, how did I run a business and work a very demanding full-time jobs? But I think this goes to show that people like you who are very passionate about what you do, that you just make it work. Like somehow it happens, it comes together. You go to the events, you make the wine, you negotiate contracts, and you also have this other life there, and the two don't always cross, but you just make it work. So I applaud you guys for doing that and having the stamina to do that as well. So our last few minutes, I just want to do our just for fun questions. And so my first question is, Hell landed on Maryland last week, and we had crazy temperatures. In my car, it said 108. I thought I was going to die. What did you do to cool down? And most importantly, what was in your glass on those days?
I went to the beach because I live in Ocean City. So we drove down to Assateague, and then I actually have a truck, electric truck. So we drive down to Assateague, we plug the blender in the truck at the beach and we make pina coladas, and it's
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
I was in Puerto Rico where it was a lot cooler than it was here. So also sipping on pina colada.
Yes.
Well, I tried to stay in as much as possible until like the sun went down, but in my glass, I was making sangrias and just
Ooh.
enjoying it. I'm like, you know what? This is easy. It's nice and cool. And went out on the patio after to just kind of relax a little bit. You know, the 1 hour that we get out of our 36-hour day. So, yeah.
Very cool.
I did not beat the heat. I was being tortured by it in a vineyard.
Oh,
So I wish. No, but yeah, yeah, just out in the vineyard. We did heat safety. You know, we know our limits. But
just
no,
for all of the attorneys listening,
yeah.
they're listening.
Well, I'm the manager, so I got to say, like, hey, like, I
There
was
you go.
responsible. I was the right, you know. But no, we did. Was in my glass. We tried some ciders from Pennsylvania. You know, we Crossvines those ciders, and so we were doing that. Just kind of see what was out there. That was exciting, and then beer. After long days like that, just beer.
Very cool. So I normally ask, like, if there was only one wine you could drink for the rest of your life, what would you have? But I'm going to twist it up this time and say, if there was only one cocktail
Oh,
you could have for the rest of your life, what would you have?
Mojito.
Mojito. Ooh, that's a good one.
It's the best one. It's just the best. It's perfect.
Rum punch for me.
The one someone else is buying for me. Or an old fashioned, whichever comes first.
Oh,
I don't know. I really like using rosés to make spritzers. So I just like it's nice and refreshing. So I think I like the bubbles. I like all of that. So that'll be perfect for me.
very nice. Very nice. And how can people find you in addition to seeing you this Sunday? What's the best way that people can try your brands and see you?
For us, you can find us tipsyteacher.com or at Tipsy Teacher Wine on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
For Rose Garden Wines, at Rose Garden Wines with an S, on all platforms, as well as going to our website, rosegardenwines.com. We have an events page. We have a bunch of events coming up soon. So we would love to see everyone there.
Daniel?
You can find the Crossvines at on all social media, and I'm not entirely sure what we all have there, but you can find us there at our website, and then you can find Kingfisher Cellars at our website, kingfishercellars.com, or Kingfisher Cellars at Instagram and Facebook.
Yep. And for Narciso, it is the website, narcisowinecellar.com, and for social media, it's at Narciso Wine Cellar for both of them. And of course, at the events, similar to what Brittany said, our website has our event calendar. And so, yeah, definitely follow us and look out for upcoming events. The summer is filled. This is our season. So definitely check them out and check us all out and hopefully see everyone on Sunday.
Cool. And because there's some wineries that are not present on have not been present on the live. Can you, Cyndi, just tell people some of the other wineries that will be there that are not here today or were here on last week?
So for the list of wineries, we have, of course, Bobisa Wines, Kingfisher Cellars, that's here, Misfit Winery, Operation Bubbles will be there as well, 722 Wine Company, and of course the Crossvines, Tipsy Teacher, and Narciso will be there. So there should be 9 of us. So come out and enjoy. It'll be probably over 25 different wines that we'll be able to sample. So
Awesome, awesome. Thank you guys for spending your Tuesday afternoon with me. I really appreciate it. And cheers to you guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for having us, Leslie.